Hey guys, Pete here, HVAC Greatness. So where is the best place to advertise if you want new customers for HVAC, plumbing, electrical, whatever? Where is the best place to advertise? And I know that question feels right, but it's actually not the best question. The best question is, how do I present my ad? How do I market in a way that where I advertise is likely to get the most results? You see, people don't click on your ad just because you happen to be in that space, just because you happen to be in Facebook or some other social media platform. They click on that ad because there's something enticing to them personally. So the first question is, where are your best prospects congregating so that you know where to advertise, so that you advertise over there specifically? And then two, what is it that you need to say in order to attract them? Now, this boils back to what I've been talking about for the longest. It's not enough to be your special brand, heating and air. Not anymore. It's not enough to be Pete's Plumbing with this really cool logo that everybody remembers. Being memorable is not enough. The strategies that are used by the big boys, right, in these marketing agencies where you'll spend $30,000, $40,000 to totally rebrand and repackage your vans and websites and everything else, are very powerful. Because first of all, the trades do a crappy job on branding. So just the fact that you have a professional brand makes you stand out. And that is the first step, standing out. But we know that the economy is sliding hard. We know that tough times are coming. Guys, if you're not aware of this, start looking maybe off not the mainstream sources of information, and start looking at some of the not so public, what's the word? Start looking at some alternative sources. Okay, let's just put it that way. But in short, tough times are coming. They're here. Okay, I'm hearing it from contractors who are saying these big private equity groups that have invested in these large companies that are used to getting thousands and thousands of calls aren't getting them anymore. Okay, there's a reason, there's a pullback. Now, with every problem comes an opportunity. That means you, if you're a one-man operation, two-man operation, three-man operation, or somewhere up to, let's say, a dozen, could be positioned to really sweep your market. Now, if you're too big and too top heavy, this may be a challenge, because I personally think some really tough times are coming. But if you really want them to bite on your hook, you got to put the right bait on the hook. Okay? You may love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but put that on the hook and throw it in the river and see what fish bites on that. I don't know. Maybe that's not the best example. But you know what I'm saying? The different types of customers are attracted, respond to different types of things, and they're not always logical. It's a deeper emotional subconscious trigger that you create with a visual impact. So yeah, like the big branding companies, you do stand out, but for the right reasons. I mean, yeah, you do heating and air, but until you do something special in your heating and air company, until you're perceived as different in your plumbing operation, until you're perceived as unique in the way that they desire in your electrical contracting services, whatever it is, you're not going to get the same response. And I hesitate there because I want to be a little bit more specific. Your success is taking that broad message out, we do heating and air, and really focusing it in. Okay, so if I tell you how to advertise on Facebook, you see, I put that on an ad, and you see that. Okay, well maybe I want to advertise on Facebook. But then you see an ad that says how to advertise if you're in the trades. Okay, that may be a little bit more interesting. But if you see an ad that says how to successfully draw high-end customers in the HVAC trade in your state, in your city, during tough times in unforeseen economic concerns, right? Well, see, we call this dog whistle marketing. We're dialing in on your reality and how to get in and get a connection to, yes, Now you're speaking to my reality. You understand what I'm running into. You understand the problems that I'm having. You understand the challenges I'm dealing with. We need more customers, and they're just not coming in like they used to. So now I'm going to start selling harder. And now I'm going to start pushing harder. But guess what? The number one complaint that we're getting on the people that I'm coaching is that the bigger companies are selling so hard, it's turning the customers off. You got to change your strategy. These big, successful, multi-million dollar success stories that were, I'm going to tell you, they started their business in a different market than you, at a different time than you, and they're wired differently than you, and they will have different success results than you, because it's not apples to apples, but still, those were different times. You know where we are right now? We're on the edge of a freaking cliff, or at least a downhill run to an uncertain bottom. Is it the end of the world? Of course not. There's going to be a lot of opportunity, but it's going to be a different scenario. So your strategy needs to start in your identity. You need to be something special. That could be a product specialty. It could be a service specialty. It could be a number of categories. There's a process that you go through to find out, number one, who your ideal customers are going to be going in the future. What are their values, of course, but what are their pains? What are their concerns? What are they trying to avoid? What are they trying to make sure that they get? And what does their reality look like? And then when you look at you and who you are and what your strengths are and all the things that you have going for you, and where do your values overlap, number one, and how can you become the solution to their concerns, their fears? And it's not just about being the cheapest. It's not just about the money. The money is the logical response to their problem. The emotional response, the one that gets them to click on your ad, is deeper. And the more you get into their psyche, the better you're going to understand this. So yes, improve your brand, right? You can rewrap, but if you're trusting marketing and artists, experts to create this identity, you're fine as long as that standing out is enough. But once standing out from the competition isn't enough, and it takes standing out in a unique, attractive, and positive way, and personal way, so that the prospect, when they see your ad, says, yeah, that's what I want. They're scrolling through their feed, and then heating and air ad, plumbing ad, electrical ad, roofing ad, lawn service ad, whatever. And then they come through and this thing jumps out at them because it speaks to the very problems they've been concerned about. And now it's personal. And if there's a need, you're probably going to get that click. Now, this doesn't mean that you throw all the other strategies out the window. You're going to have to start marketing on multiple fronts. And so you're going to have to be good on a lot of different things, including internal marketing with your existing customer base, because you're going to have attrition at a rate that you've never experienced before. What is attrition? Attrition is where your customer base that you've always depended on is shrinking, right? People are dying, people are moving, people can't afford your services anymore. They're leaving and going to somebody cheaper. Maybe they're using the handyman who watches those YouTube videos that are all over the place on how to change a capacitor, contactor, compressor, put in a mini split system, do it yourself. All these things are out there competing for you, but there is a segment of people who don't want the cheapest. They don't want the risk of dealing with just anybody. They need a certain amount of security. Guys, if you're just you heating and air, it ain't going to be enough anymore. Okay? Get that handled, right? I'm going to put a strategy call link underneath here. If you want to learn, you want to rebrand, if you want to refresh what you've got and be attractive again, hit me up. And I'm also going to put a link on here, and I've been talking about this forever. If you're procrastinating, getting your numbers handled, understand exactly how to dial in on really, really tight profits at every service that you offer, flat rate repair, the maintenance agreements, the equipment change out. If you don't know what that exact break-even line is, when things get competitive, you're either A, going to be too scared to take the job because you might lose money, or B, worse yet, you're going to take the job and lose money. And that is a slippery slope, guys. I've ridden that a time or two myself, when I was coming into my own, when I had my business, not understanding my number. I have offered this. This is something that if you keep putting off, and for those of you who have registered and been a part of that, you're on the online, I've got a live class coming up. You will get an email on this, and you're going to get all the updates that are going to come with us, okay? But for those of you who've been procrastinating, what this is going to happen, what this is going to do, what's going to happen is it's going to create a scenario where you're going to have a missed opportunity. You see, when you're prepared and the opportunity comes along, and then you're equipped to seize it, okay? Marketing is going to get tougher, and that's not enough. Once you get to their front door, that's the hardest battle. Now you need to get through the rest of the process. And going forward, negotiations is going to be a part of that. Your pricing is going to be challenged. If you don't understand how to price properly and how to be competitive, in many, many cases, you may lose that opportunity. People are not going to be able to trust like they used to. They may want to, but they may have to hold you accountable and get a couple of more bids or quotes or whatever they call them these days, estimates. And so a good strategy is important too. But don't think that the question, where is the best place to advertise to get heating and air customers or plumbing customers or your trade customers, is a good question. It's not a good question anymore. It's not enough. I mean, it's okay. It's a foundation. But you need to be asking a deeper question. What is it that I need to look like to be not just attractive to my ideal prospect going through these difficult times, but maybe be perceived as vital? Maybe be perceived, I can't afford to go with just anybody heating and air. I got to go with this company here. This takes strategy. It's not done at the Waffle House on a napkin over a Saturday morning breakfast. Okay. This takes strategy. And if you're really going to be able to get that work, you're going to need processes, and you're going to have to know your numbers. Okay. So reach out to Pete. I'll help you out. You guys be safe out there. Keep it positive. Where there's big, big challenges and failure, there's big, big opportunities and success stories. That's where we want you to be. Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.